So what you are looking at right now is a Schedule 13D filed by Elon Musk through his lawyers, I believe, on the 13th of April 2022 concerning that bid to acquire all the outstanding shares of Twitter that he doesn't own. So currently he owns 73.115 million shares of Twitter. That's his sole voting power, and it's also his sole dispositive power, and it amounts to 9.1% of the outstanding common stock. So that is also based on the 800.641 shares of common stock outstanding as of February 10, 2022, as reported by Twitter in its annual report on Form 10K for the year ended December 31, 2021. So he went on to say that on the 13th of April 2022, the reporting person, Elon Musk, delivered a letter to the issuer which contained a non-binding proposal to acquire all of the outstanding common stock of the issuer not owned by the reporting person for all cash consideration, valuing the common stock at $54.2 per share. This represents a 54% premium over the closing price of the common stock on January 28, 2022, the trading day before the reporting person began investing in the issuer, and a 38% premium over the closing price of the common stock on April 1st, 2022, the trading day before the reporting person's investment in the issuer was publicly announced. Also, remember there's also a lawsuit, I believe, in place right now concerning this stake he has built up beyond 5%. They are alleging, or rather clearly stating out, that he did not disclose that the stake beyond 5% on time, and as such he benefited from that, and also some other investors lost out on that because they sold before he disclosed his stake there, because they're trying to imply that if he disclosed it on time, some of them may not have sold their stake, and they may have also joined him in benefiting from that. They're alleging that he has made about $150 million in that regard. So that's currently beside the point. So the reporting person has also engaged Morgan Stanley as its financial advisor. So this is the disclosure. You find a link to this in the description box below, and down here you can see it was signed by Elon Musk himself, and we can see exhibits here where he's saying, I invested in Twitter as I believe it's in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy. So Twitter has responded and saying that it will carefully review the proposal, but after a board meeting spanning several hours, its executives and directors seemed ready for a fight. So we heard about all of these things on Thursday, the 14th of April, but the board had already heard about this on the 13th, so they had gotten ready. They had must have summoned their board of directors. I want to believe that some of them may be elsewhere in the world, and they've all gathered and they deliberated that, and they're saying that they seem ready for a fight. They appear to be marshaling investors against Musk's plans, and signal that he would have to spend millions more if he wanted to own the company. He's proposing to spend up to $43 billion to acquire those shares. The remaining 81 or 80 million shares of thereabout. So the remaining 91 million shares. Sorry. So Twitter is also considering a corporate defense tactic of imposing a so-called poison pill, a maneuver intended to ward off an unwanted takeover offer by making the target's shares more expensive, according to people familiar with the matter. Okay, Musk has provided few details about how he would pay for the company. So, as it concerns this poison pill, that's a company like Google, for instance, has that in place. So, it will be almost virtually impossible to acquire Google. You can, I mean, to acquire all of its stake if the current owners, I believe, the current founders don't divest them to you. You can't, you won't be able to acquire them aggressively or through, or any other means that is not made easy by them. So amongst other things, that is probably what they will have to do. So that they're also mentioning things like making the shares more expensive. They can probably make them more expensive, but yeah, they are the things they can always do to make it more expensive. Yes, so moving on, I think the company Twitter itself is doing its best to balance things out, to really balance things out by not, bluntly saying no, because Elon Musk itself, he doesn't have as much regard as some of the billionaires would have. He doesn't have it, because this is a man that is self-made. Founded PayPal, and from there on, he found himself in Tesla. He's a successful entrepreneur. So he formed himself pretty much self-made. So as against some of these billionaires and some of these directors and executives, even those who are advising him, some of them are some of these folks, in all the corporate settings, are industry formed, industry made. So they know the culture, they know the sort of language and attitudes. But Elon Musk doesn't come from that sort of fabric. So all of these things tend to affect him. All of these things tend to determine the sort of regard he gets, and we see that often. So you can see that. Given all of these things, some are even saying whether he's trolling them and all that stuff, and it could well be that he's playing games or trying to defend himself, or doing all sort of things, whether probably not even serious, but at the same time, he's the point has been, I'm trying to make is that he doesn't have that sort of regard, so, but at the same time, the Twitter is trying its best to ensure that it doesn't come out blunt. This is also a man that is regarded as the world's richest man, and also a man that has probably the biggest following on its platform. So they have to really take it serious. They have to really take him serious, and also at the same time, the company hasn't been doing well financially. It's not as if it's in trouble, but it could do way, 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 way better. It is up there in the same as it concerns regard, as it concerns popularity, up there with Meta or Facebook and Google, but it's nowhere anywhere close to them. Its market cap is, we're talking about 43 billion, but for all the other companies, it's approaching the trillions. So Twitter has really underperformed. So the company, the management of the company, really have to really take a bid from Elon Musk very seriously, and if people don't regard him, they have to do their best to take this seriously, and I think they have done their best to issue a very balanced response. And this is also the sort of response you would also get from any other person, not naturally. This is the sort of response you get, and yes, I think they are taking it seriously, and also they are also trying to make the most or get the best for their investors. This as it concerns the fiduciary duties. I think they're really doing that. So, all in all, let's see what all of these things are going to be. What the poison pills are going to be. What the defensive tactics are going to be. As it concerns Twitter. Or let's see also whether Twitter, Elon Musk will back down or back out, and probably sell his 9.1% stake. Let's see how it will all affect Twitter. Whether its things will go south for the company, whether the management will shake things up and take this as a jolt to take the whole situation in the company by the scruff of the neck and take it up where it's supposed to go, or where it's supposed to be, where it's expected to be right now. So I'll continue to update you in this regard, and thank you very much for watching this video.